Knicks fans, what's poppin'? It's your boy, Simeon Russell. What can we say? Let's just get rocking. What's going on, everybody? How y'all feeling? Siobhan, Alfredo, Triple G. What's poppin', family? Full tank mode, for sure. No doubt about it. We are in full tank mode. I don't know if there's too much to talk about with this game. Once again, third quarter, we play like trash. I mean, what are we going to do? I don't think there's much we can do about it but complain, get upset, be mad. Hey, I'm sorry if there's a lag or we're really behind. I apologize for some reason. Just as I logged on, my system disconnected, then it reconnected. But hopefully everything is cool. But Ace, you said you want to hear me say straight face that Trey shouldn't start. Trey shouldn't start. I mean, like any player that is a spark plug off the bench, you're going to have times where you come in and you spark it up. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Trey Burke is a starting point guard on a really good team. I'm not knocking Trey Burke. I want Trey Burke to play his game, and I want him to come in and do exactly what he did tonight. But that doesn't mean that he should start to me. That's just what it is. He's going to have good nights. Like any other player in the NBA. He's going to have good nights, going to have hot nights. This is what I've seen from Trey Burke. Right? When he responds, he has some heart, so he responds. So if he doesn't get the playing time that he thinks he should get, he responds. In the first half, he didn't play at all, so he responded. When he starts to play consistent minutes, he begins to, his play begins to diminish. You know what I'm saying? Now, Troy, I see you say this team isn't good, so what's your point? My point is this. If you don't believe that Trey Burke is a starting point guard on a really good team, and you have other point guards that you want to try out to see, you might as well play them. That's my point. You know what I'm saying? If you don't think Trey Burke is the kind of guard that you want to be your starting guard, then don't start him. And I don't think that the Knicks believe that Trey Burke is the kind of guard they want to start, so they don't start him. That's what my point is. You know what I'm saying? I believe that they probably figure if he has a future with the team, his future is going to be a spark plug off the bench. That's why. And he wants to see what Emmanuel Mudiay can do. Ace, you say Mudiay is neither, but the difference between the two is Mudiay is 21 years old, he's been in the league for 3 years, but he's only 21. Trey Burke's been in the league for a while. He's 25 years old. I don't know when he turns 26. There's a difference there. There's a 4-year difference in age. You understand what I'm saying? Basically, Trey Burke, he almost is what he is. Maybe he can get better. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. But he is what he is by now. He's been in the league for a while. We know what Trey Burke is. This is what he is. He's had his chances at 3 different places now. So if you're looking towards the future, Trey Burke is not the future. You know what I'm saying? He's not it. So let's recap the game a little bit. Do a quick recap because not much was popping this game that you really want to talk about. I mean, the first half we scored 60 points. Then of course second half and we bomb out. Ace, you said we know what Mudiay is. Are you sure about that? So disregard the fact that he's 21 years old. You know what Mudiay is. You just disregard that whole fact that he has a lot more room to grow and develop. I mean, you don't know what he is yet. He still has some time. You give Mudiay another 2 years to see exactly what he is. But you don't know yet. You can't just say Mudiay is trash. You know what I'm saying? Because Mudiay, let's put it like this. We may have a guy come out of college. Mudiay's been in the league for 3 years. We may have a guy come out of college who was a junior in college and be older than Mudiay. So, I mean, you can have your opinion about him. That's cool. But you can't definitively say he's garbage. You can't definitively say he's trash. You can have your opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can have because you don't know what he'll be in the next 2 years, 3 years. 2 years, I'll say. Because he's so young. He's 21. You don't know. Everybody thought Trey Burke was going to be this star guard. And then he ended up in the G League. You know what I mean? So, everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own way to make it into the league. Everyone has everyone has to take their own path. You know what I mean? Bien, you said your point is that he doesn't play D well, and he's got not much strength to his game. I mean, my point with him versus Trey Burke is that Trey Burke is 25, Mudiay is 21. And there's a difference there. You know what I'm saying? That's my point between the two. I'm not saying Mudiay is definitely and definitively the starting point guard for the Knicks long term. I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, if you believe that Trey Burke is, if he's going to be with the team long term, he's going to be a bench player, a spark plug off the bench, right? And so you know, okay, this is probably what he's going to be for us. And you have Mudiay, who's 21 years old. You might say, let's give this kid a try. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? We kind of know what Trey Burke is. I don't know if there's, I don't know. Maybe there is another level that he can go to. I don't know. But I think we kind of know what he is. And I don't know if there's too much more we're going to find out about Trey Burke. You know he can score. You know there might be some mismatches that he gets caught up in. You know sometimes he's going to over dribble. You know when he's in a game, he's going to look for his shot. So you play him accordingly. And you play him in a position that allows him to play his game. Because you see what happens. If you do not allow him to play his game, he mentally, maybe he can't take it. That's what happened to him in Utah. So you put him in a spot to let him play his game. And I'm cool with that. I have no problems with Trey Burke. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think he's the future starting point guard of this team. That's all. But, to each his own. It's good. Now let's take a look at what went down tonight. So we're up 2 at half. Played a good first half. Michael Beasley went off in the first half. Kind of hit a hot streak. Then the third quarter comes. And here we go again. 26-12 in the third quarter. It's ridiculous. And I blame it squarely on coaching. You know what I'm saying? Squarely on coaching. Again, lack of adjustments, I feel. Teams come out with a little bit more vigor, ready to play, a little bit more attention to detail, and we fall off. Happens every time. We can just about put that in the books every game. Every game, we can just about put that in the books. That the Knicks are going to come out like this in the third quarter. Then in the fourth quarter, we do a little fake comeback, like the Knicks do. I get tired of it, we're at the point in the season where wins, whatever, but I want to see the team try to perform well. I want to see the team try to correct their mistakes. And if they can't come out focused in that third quarter, that squarely falls on the coach's shoulders. That's the coach's job at halftime. To have the team ready to come out and play. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we scored 60 points in the first half. You can't rest on your laurels. You can't think that, you're going to continue to shoot well. And that's the coach's job. We had a 9-point lead in the first quarter, I think it was, something like that. We shot 48.8% from the field, 32% from three, 75% from the free throw line, although we only went to the free throw line 12 times, which means we weren't being aggressive enough going to the basket. The Mavs shot 44.9% from the field. They shot 40% from three. They hit 14 of 35 three-pointers. Again, lackadaisical, lazy defense, giving up open three-pointers. And this has been going on for years, since before Jeff Hornacek. So we can't blame Jeff Hornacek for the Knicks giving up open threes. It's been going on before Jeff Hornacek. It's been going on before even Kurt Rambis and the whole Phil Jackson thing. I don't know what it is. I guess part of it is players, right? We don't have good defenders across the board. So if you don't have good defenders across the board, you're gonna give up something. You know what I mean? And right now, we're just one of the worst 3-point defending teams in the league. 19 turnovers. We've been protecting the ball lately, but tonight we had 19 turnovers. I don't know. I just don't. There's not much to talk about with this game. You know what I'm saying? I don't see anything really positive in this game. Not much positivity in this game. You lose by 13 to one of the worst teams. I mean, we are one of the worst teams in the league. We're probably the worst team in the league right now. But you lose by 13 and almost get wiped up by, a team that for most of the year was worse than us. Tim Hardaway had 19 points. He played well, 47% from the field, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 turnovers. I'm not sure if right now he needs to play 38 minutes a game, but we'll talk about that. Lance Thomas, 3 points, 1 rebound. Cantor, only 3 points. Had 15 rebounds, but only 3 points. Courtney Lee played 15 minutes, no points, 1 assist, 2 turnovers. Mudiay had 10 points, 2 assists. He shot 44.4% from the field, played 25 minutes. Beasley had 21 and 4. Kylo Quinn, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Frank had 4 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, only played 16 minutes. Got into a little bit of foul trouble. That's something that Frank's going to have to work on. Well, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes he gets into foul trouble. Sometimes he gets into foul trouble because he's defending somebody else's person, like on a fast break. He picks up the person on the break and he fouls them. Or he's rotating on defense and he fouls them. I want to see what happens. Let's see if he gets into foul trouble when, Frank had, he had 2 fouls. So who knows? Whatever. But he does get into foul trouble sometimes. And sometimes I think it's because, like I said, he rotates onto somebody else's man. He rotates on defense and, picks up a foul. Sometimes he uses his body. And sometimes I think he just gets, when he uses his body, sometimes I think he gets a foul just because he's a rookie. He doesn't really reach. He hardly ever reaches. You barely ever see Frank reach. He like pokes and jabs his hand, but he doesn't really fully reach. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure it'll correct itself. But he only had 2 fouls tonight. Jeff pulled him out in the top of the 4th quarter when he got a foul, probably to bring in Burke, try to get a boost in scoring. You know what I'm saying? But shot 25% from the field, 6 assists, 16 minutes. In my opinion, you still should have played him 30 minutes. He only had 2 fouls. He wasn't in jeopardy of fouling out. You got to play him. Troy Williams continues to show and prove that he deserved to get his contract for the remainder of the year. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Troy Williams. And I hope he sticks with the team. Troy is... For most of the year, we talked about athleticism and that we need athleticism. He was exactly what we needed. We've seen more dunks in the last 20 days that he's been on the team than we probably have seen all year. Follow-up dunks, put-back dunks, dunks on the break. He has a lot of speed. A lot of energy, it's been great to see, because something exciting can happen when he's out on the floor. So that's great to see. I would have loved to see him play with Porzingis, and hopefully we get a chance to see that next year. Now he has a non-guaranteed contract for next year. I'm not sure if that contract becomes guaranteed in August after training camp or if it becomes guaranteed in January. I'm thinking it's probably going to be January. But I think that he'll play himself into having a guaranteed contract. And then we'll see what happens after next year. But I'm glad he's here. He has 7 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, had 3 turnovers. That's okay. But as he gets more comfortable and he's playing within, I don't want to say playing within the system. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not exactly sure what our system is supposed to be. I thought we were supposed to be trying to be an up-tempo team, but we still seem to play slow, just as slow as we did when we had the triangle. But if we ever do get into an up-tempo type of system, Troy Williams will be perfect. Perfect if we get into a up-tempo type of system. Damian Dotson played 9 minutes. 6 points. 1 rebound. Shot 2 for 3. Trey Burke, 14 minutes, 16 points. 6 for 9 from the field. 3 for 4 from 3. 3 rebounds. 2 turnovers, 1 steal. Of course, Jack and Luke played no minutes. And see, this is... Jeff Hornacek needs to make up his mind. Right? Luke had a good game, the last game. You would think that he earned at least a few minutes tonight. He plays none because Cantor is back. Okay, I understand that. I get it. But there's enough minutes to go around. There's enough minutes to go around. Play Luke. You know, what's the point of bringing him up if you're not going to play him at this point in the season? You know what I'm saying? What's the point? Play him. He had a good game. He played well. Might as well put him on the floor. You know what I'm saying? I just don't, I can't get a grasp on what Jeff Hornacek is doing. People can say, well, you know, someone plays well, you're going to sit them because we're tanking. We lose anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? We lose anyway, so you might as well play him. He did the same thing to Troy Williams. Troy Williams barely played versus Toronto. I think it was 6 minutes. When he had a career game just the game before. You know, it doesn't make sense. He started Courtney Lee tonight. He should have started Frank. That was your opportunity right there. Lee went out. You know, prayers up to his family, of course. But Lee went out. You started Frank. That was your opportunity right there to just say, okay, we're going to let it be. Lee come off the bench. We're going to continue to start Frank and let him play. Let him get his 30 minutes a game. Instead, you come back and put Lee on the floor. You're only playing for 15 minutes. And, you know, he basically gave us nothing. And I'm not complaining or blaming Lee for anything. I'm just saying, you know, gave him 15 minutes, probably no rhythm, didn't give us much. You know, just play the kids. I mean, what we got? 15 games left? Come on. I know, you know, maybe the NBA is watching teams to make sure that they don't tank or whatever. You know, but I mean, you have a legitimate excuse and a legitimate reason to play the young players. So, but that's Jeff Hornacek for us. You know, he does it every time. He does it every single time. You know, guy have a good game, he sits him. He did the same thing with Trey Burke. Trey Burke had a couple of good games, he sat him. And then I don't even know is he even explaining to the players why they're not in the game, why they sat, right? I hear coaches and people say, well, they don't need to explain to the players. That's bull. You should explain to the player why you sat him. If you have a player that you're consistently playing, or you have a player that does well, you know, just talk to him. You should have that relationship with the players where you can talk to them and say, listen, I understand you had a career game last game, but you were really getting spot minutes because Cantor was out. So you're not going to get many minutes tonight. Or Trey Burke. You know, if it was me, I don't like his body language most times, most nights. And if I wasn't going to play him because of it, I'd say, listen, Trey, I need you to get your body language together. This is what I see, and if this is what I see, this is what your teammates see, this is what other coaches in the NBA who may be interested in you, this is what they see as well. And I let them know. So this is why I'm sitting you. You owe it. You know, I think you owe it to him, and it helps to build the relationship. And you might just see that player do exactly what you want them to do. You know. But it's Jeff Hornacek for you. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. You could be right, D-Gons. Maybe. It doesn't seem like it, though. You know, like earlier in the season when some guys didn't play, you know, some guys just kind of like, I don't know, it's coach's decision. And they're going to say that. You know, they're going to say it's coach's decision. You know, from the things that I see from Trey Burke, his, you know, the way his body language looks to me, it doesn't look like the coach says anything. It just decides he's going to sit you and not play you. You know what I'm saying? Because I think maybe if Jeff Hornacek explained to him, maybe you wouldn't see as much body language, bad body language. But maybe that's just Trey Burke. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, but Jeff Hornacek just needs to come to a decision and say, this is what I'm doing. Don't flip-flop. Don't wish-wash. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Just do it. Let's talk about KP. Let's talk about KP. So, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen some of the interviews or his interview today. Right? If not, we'll play a little taste of it. You know, KP apparently was KP thought that he was going to be able to get back in the game. From the way it sounds to me,
it wasn't much of a roller coaster. I found out
so
the
here
news.
You got
I was shocked
a little
at
taste
first.
of KP.
I couldn't believe it that happened to me, and then about 30 seconds later, I said, "Okay, what can I do now?" Now it's just time for me to make a comeback. I thought it was like a sprain, honestly. I didn't feel a pop. I didn't feel anything. So once it happened on the floor, I was like trying to get back as soon as possible because I thought like I don't want to be on the floor for too long, and then it's just a sprain, you know. But then I got the bad news.
So there you have it. KP, he thought it was a sprain, thought he was going to get back in. Later on in that interview, KP said he believes he'll make it back to an all-star level. He's working on his upper body, which is good. Of course, you know, he's strengthening his knee, but he's working on his upper body as well. I want to know what you guys think. Porzingis made it to the All-Star game for the first time this year. Will he make it back to the All-Star game successfully? And I'm not talking about next season. Because, you know, next season he probably won't get back until maybe December, somewhere around there. You know, that's not going to be enough time for him to make it into the All-Star game unless he's voted in by the fans, which has happened before, right? You know, we've seen it. It's happened with Kobe and other guys. But will he make it back to All-Star form? You know, you can see, you know, this year he averaged 22.7 points per game, 44%, shot 44% from the field. I'd like to see that shooting percentage get up. You know, average 6.6 rebounds a game. I would definitely like to see his shooting percentage get up, though. But you know, he's in his third year. He's still young. He can get it up. You know, KP, yeah, he's 22 years old. You know, we gotta hope that. I hope that KP has the best trainers working with him. I know that his brother is working with him. You know, his brother is his trainer. But I really hope that he has some other. I don't know his brother's experience. I know his brother played professional basketball in Europe, right? But I don't know. Does he have the experience that's necessary to really train KP and help KP develop into the player that he wants to be? I hope so. But I'm not sure. And if he's not, it's very hard when it's hard when you're doing business with family. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're doing business with family, you're naturally gonna make excuses for your family. Some people don't like their own family, but it is what it is. You're gonna make excuses for your family, because that's your family, that's your people. Ismail, you say KP has improved every season with his brothers training him. Why change that? I'm not saying to change it. I'm just asking the question, do they have the experience to train him up to the player that he wants to be? That's all I'm asking. I don't know what their experience is. I don't know what their background is. So I can't say if they need to change or not. I hope that they are. That's all I'm saying. I hope that they are. If they aren't, one, would KP be able to recognize that? And would he be able to let them go if they weren't? You know what I'm saying? That's a tough thing when dealing with family. See, if it were me, my family wouldn't be my trainer. Not my trainer. I don't even know if I would have my family as, an accountant or an agent or anything like that. I just wouldn't, because it'd be a tough job to, if I had a family member as an agent and I didn't feel that they were getting me the deal that I deserved, or I didn't feel like they were putting in the same amount of work that other agents were putting in with their players, now I got to fire my brother or my father or my mother or my cousin. And that's a tough task. You know what I'm saying? I'd really try to keep, if I was going to hire someone in my family, they'd do something that wasn't as critical to my career. That's just me. That's just me. But hopefully, hopefully his brother's a really good trainer. Because I really do want to see KP come back and be an all-star again. I want to see KP, although I have questions on whether or not he is the guy if he is the guy that's going to be your go-to number one guy. I have questions about it. And I want to see a little bit more from him. I do have questions. But, of course, I want him to be, and I want him to come back as strong as ever. What do you want to see from KP when he comes back? What does he need to do? If he wants to be that all-star that he says, if he wants to come back and be an all-star, what's he need to do? Where's he need to improve in his game? Right? Where's he need to improve? That's what I want to get. So I got a call on the line. I got Q on the line, and I'm gonna find out from Q what he thinks KP needs to do to come back and be the all-star. You know what I'm saying? And be that number one guy. Q, what's popping, bro?
What's going on, man?
How you feeling? So tell me, what do you think KP needs to do? Hey, and listen, I'm keeping strict to the clock tonight too, man, because I gotta get up. Yeah, I got some things I gotta get up really, really early tomorrow. But what do you think KP needs to do?
I gotta get up at 3:30 in the morning too. So
I feel you. All right. What does KP need to do to come back and be that all-star? I see rebounding. I see someone say improve his low post game. What do you say? What do you think?
Altogether, to me, I think is motivation and mentalness. Like, because no matter what, if you feel like you're gonna try to be the top rebounder, you go on and you injure yourself because you keep on thinking about your injury. Is your motivation and your mentalness to me.
Okay, so that number one thing, he's got to mentally, he's got to be right mentally. He's got to. So are you saying that he needs to be able to shake off the injury first? That's the first thing. Like
Yeah,
he's 100%, but mentally he's got to be ready and not afraid.
Bypass that, yeah. That's the top thing of you getting re-injured is thinking that your injury is going to affect your career.
Okay.
I think that he needs to bypass that, and he needs to think that this is what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on a little bit of a light defense, a little bit of a scoring, like, and not think about it, but just go on, like play my part.
Right.
And that's the same thing that I think about. Like I told you about. Then we just got finished talking about this about Lance Thomas and Frank Ntilikina.
About
what did they do today? Like they played a part.
Right.
Like they went from, like, no exaggeration. Remember you were saying, I remember you saying this on air. Like they need to stop letting they need to make Mudiay play the guard and make Frank Ntilikina play the point guard and Mudiay play the shooting guard.
Right.
Mudiay brung up the ball, but as you see, as soon as he bring up the ball, once he get to the 3-point line. Now, this is recently. They probably be listening to your show. I don't know what they do. But recently, he just, like today, he passed it to Frank Ntilikina. And Frank Ntilikina did what he did to distribute the ball. He became the point guard. Mudiay just brung it up. He passed it to Frank, and Frank became the point guard.
Okay.
So that's what I know. KP needs to just work his way back into being himself. Don't force it.
Oh no, we're definitely not gonna force it. You know what I'm saying? Like we see someone said earlier, we want KP to be 100% when he comes back. I think it was CP the artist said, we want KP to come back 100%. There's no need to force it. No need to come back early. We're not in playoff contention.
And that's what he sounds like he want to do. He sounds like he wants to come back early.
Well, I did read another article.
Did you listen to him speak? He was just like, I know they said 10 months or whatever the case may be. He was basically saying that he might come back before 10 months or he might come back at 10 months. You need to say, they say 10 months and I'm going to, whatever works.
Yeah, well, I know I seen another article where he said, he wants to be patient and make sure he's 100%. I think he understands the situation of the Knicks. I think he understands that, we're not going to be a good team next year. And there's no reason for him to come back early. I do think he understands that. I hope he understands that. Because
I think we might next year. I don't know, because I'm a Knicks fan and I put high expectation always on the Knicks. But I think, like, with the people that we got now, if you seen what was going on today, even though it was we're different, but even though we was doing what we was doing today and we made it to the highest level, you got to realize some of them people that we have and some of the people that we can get, we can make it to the playoffs. Our whole thing is, we're not pushing that hard. That's why Mike Beasley was getting mad.
You think we can make it? You think if we started the season with this team right here, we can make it to the playoffs?
I think so.
If we started with this team without KP, you think we can make it to the playoffs?
without KP on the East, not on the West, on
Yeah.
the East, we can make it to the playoffs if we have the right system.
I don't know. I don't think we can. I think we have too many inconsistent players on it. Without KP. With this group right here, I think we have too many inconsistent players, and I don't think we have enough guys with motors.
Did you work? And I know that you're a person. Now, this is what I see every time about you, and I listen to you. Even though you have your own statement and you make how you feel about it, when somebody else says something, if you will second guess yourself. If you feel that they're telling, you would second guess yourself if you feel that they're telling that their story or what they say is better than what you say.
Nah, I don't second guess myself. I may agree with.
You don't understand it.
I may agree with some points that they say, but I never second guess myself.
Not second guess. My bad. Not second guess. But you'll be like, okay, that can happen.
Yeah, if somebody has a good point.
Did you see how this is what remember we always been talking about Frank Ntilikina. Did you see how the way every time they gave him the ball, now I feel that Jeff Hornacek said, all right, you got to pass this at Mudiay or whoever it is, you got to pass to Frank once we get on the half court. You can rush the ball down the court, but if you don't see anything once you get down that court, give it to Frank. Let Frank handle that.
They might have.
That's talking about from the get-go, right?
They might have. Hey, Q, listen. I wanna keep this moving along.
Okay.
All right, so the time is up, but definitely, call back. We'll be back on Thursday night.
Okay, no problem.
All right, man. All right, peace out, bro. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't say I second guess myself. I don't second guess myself. If somebody has a good point, I agree with them. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean I'm going to change my opinion or change my mind. There's been times when somebody may have helped me to change my mind. But, if somebody has a good point, I admit it. That's cool. I got my man Ronald Cleveland on the line. What's popping, bro?
Man, ain't nothing much, Simeon, man. Same old thing, just a different day with the old Knickerbockers.
Same old thing, different day. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, what's up to the chat, by the way? I just got a few things to address. Time is limited. I know you got your time short tonight.
Yeah.
The previous stuff you was talking about with the kid, Trey Burke. I agree. His body language is terrible. You never want to see that in any player, in any sport. But there's three things that Trey has going against him. For one, he's 25 years old, so everybody know what he is and what he can do. His ceiling is already set. His stature, he's 6'1", so size is going to be a problem. He's barely 6 foot, so that's going to be a problem. And so when you add those factors up, the kid is the only way he's going to be a starting point guard in the league. He's going to have to be outerworldly, like how AI was, who they try to compare him to, where there's no comparison.
Right.
That's not going to compare. When you look at the Knicks' problems, and I really had time to sit down and analyze this team, the problem is, seriously, with the inconsistencies, the commitment to stick on defense. And I saw an alarming article where they said that Courtney Lee was mad with the younger players because of their effort, because they're not practicing hard enough. And I'm like, what? Right. You on this level and you're not giving, but it makes sense now. I've always said something. We said, last time we talked, I said there's something going on that we don't see.
Right.
There's something going on. And that last caller, that statement he made about you, that's comical. That's comical. That's all I'm going to say. You stand on what you say. You know what I mean? You don't flip-flop. You stand on what you say. If somebody says something, you give them their props.
Mm-hmm.
But, just looking at the Knicks and KP, I think is a dangerous thing when you deal with family and any kind of business. That never turns out good in most cases. Eventually, there's going to be a discord somewhere. Right. Because at some point, family feel that they can talk to you in a manner where the longer he's in the league, he's gonna get to a point. Hey, I don't want to hear that no more. It's gonna be white noise.
Yeah.
He really, you know who I hope he would get with? I hope, because I've looked at his game. It really reminded me of Hakeem Olajuwon. He got a finesse game to him. He really do, and he handled the ball like how Olajuwon used to handle it.
Yeah, and Olajuwon could help him in the post. Now, I see someone say that if KP wants to come back and be an all-star, he needs to build up his post game. Olajuwon can help him because Olajuwon, he was strong, but he's thin like KP.
Exactly, and he knew how to use angles and stuff like that. And
exactly.
You know, I had time to really look at Jeff too. And my thing is, you know, we've all know Jeff need to get out of New York. I wish he would have been gone when Phil left. But the thing that teased me off with that dude, I have never seen a coach when their team gets blown out and he gets in a press conference and he's smiling.
Yeah.
That don't send a good message to the team. That really don't, man. So Jeff time is past due. You know, and if we want to attract free agents, let's say we had Mark Jackson this year and KP went down. Guess what? We'll still get free agents on the strength of Mark Jackson. But we don't have a coach with clout, man. And I remember even looking at Jeff Hornacek when he was a basketball player. He wasn't that great. He really wasn't. And that's why he can recognize with Ron Baker.
Right.
They just alike. Hustle players, and that's it. So man, I'm gonna let you have it. What's up to the chat? And that last caller, man, he need to get his mind right, man, before he start making these accusations.
I think he cleared himself up, though. He put something in the chat.
Is a clear case, Simeon, though. You got to think before you talk, man. You got to think before you talk. You got people listening. Make sure what you say is factual before you start saying stuff.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you defending me, bro. I appreciate it.
New York Knicks will be back.
No doubt. For sure. Yeah. KP an all-star again. I think he can do it. And I seen a lot of things that you guys said. You know, he needs to work on his post game. He needs to pick up his rebounding. I agree there. Now, the hard thing about it with KP is that playing that stretch 4 position, he's always, you know, playing that stretch 4 position, he's going to be out on the perimeter a lot. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's going to be guarding stretch 4s, and he's going to be out on the perimeter a lot. So it makes it a little bit difficult for him to get back and grab defensive rebounds. You know what I'm saying? But I would definitely like to see him pick up his rebounding. You know what I mean? I do agree with him about Olajuwon, though. I think Olajuwon would be perfect to work with KP to play in the post. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when he worked with when Olajuwon worked with Amari, you know, Amari was a little bit older, and you know, once you get a little bit older, it's hard to break those habits or build new habits. You know, KP is young. You work with Olajuwon, you know, KP is still sucking up knowledge, and he's like a sponge right now still. You know what I mean? So, you know, working with Olajuwon, I think, you know, that'll be what's up for KP. You know, so I got my man Tony Crow on the line. You know what I'm saying? Tony, what's popping with you, bro?
Yo, Black, it's time. Peace to the chat.
For sure, man.
What's going on?
So
yeah, I think KP gonna have to gain some weight in them legs and upper body before he could pull off some Olajuwon moves. But hopefully while he recover, he gets some mass on him.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the one thing, man. And I know a lot of people said it could be a blessing in disguise with KP going out. You know, he'll be able to take some time and you know, build up his upper body, use this time to, you know, build up his thighs, build up his lower body so he's stronger. You know what I mean? And all the while continuing to keep his flexibility. You know, we want to make sure he can keep his flexibility. You know what I'm saying? So that when he comes back, he could still be the same player, but he's just stronger.
But you know who I would have him work out with?
Who?
Another young guy, AD.
Yeah, for sure.
How big AD got over like a 2-year period?
Yep. Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, and you know, AD, I mean, they play a similar type of game, really. Except AD, you know, can go in the post a little bit more. AD is more a better all-around player. You know what I mean? But, I mean, KP's game is real similar. That'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, you know he would have to develop like AD did, and then you could start doing them, you know, Elijah Wan. He's just too light in the ass right now to work in the post, at least consistently.
Yeah. He's not strong. I mean, because, you know, Elijah Wan was thin, but he was strong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
KP's not really strong yet. As strong as them other guys. You know what I'm saying? He's not really strong like that. So, you know, but, you know, hopefully when he comes back, he'll be, though. He may not be as strong as everybody, but, you know.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
He just got to make sure he's not picking up. He just got to make sure he's not picking up fat. You know what I mean? He's building muscle and he don't come back like Eddie Curry or something.
it's gonna be a process. Remember Big Country?
Yeah, Big Country. Yeah, Big Country.
Oh man,
yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, I think for sure Hornacek gotta go. I don't know. I don't think he really has the team, and I think part of the reason Phil Jackson brought him in was his personality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his personality is kind of out of touch with today's game, today's players.
Yeah.
You know, I think the older players more so probably understand Jeff, you know, a lot better than the younger players.
Right. I agree. And
it's a gap. It's a gap there, a generation gap.
Yeah, and with today's with players today, the young players today, you got to be able to relate to these guys a little bit in order to get through to them. One, because the players are so much younger coming into the league. You know, if you look 15, 20 years ago, you know, guys were juniors.
4-year player.
You know, 4-year players, juniors coming into the league. You know, they were grown men. You know what I'm saying? You got kids in the league. You know what I'm saying? And you know, hate to say it, but they need a little bit of coddling.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're still babies, man. They're still babies, so they need a little bit of coddling. You know, you got to have someone that can relate to them.
Yeah.
And you know, our young guys are. I mean, just all across communities, all across the country, man. They're a little bit more, not as mature as some guys, you know, coming into the league back in the day. Someone like a KG was 19 years old, came into the league, but he's a little bit more mature than some of the other guys coming into the league now at 19. You know what I'm saying? You know, so you need a little bit of coddling and a little bit of nurture.
You know I think going back to something you said earlier, like with Jeff Hornacek, he's from that school where he don't feel he has to tell a player he's not going to play today,
right? Or
you know, I'm the coach, or if you play, you play, and you know, I'm not saying Trey Burke should act the way he acts or show the mannerisms that he shows, but I think that has part to do with it. You know, you play your heart out, you play well, and you think you deserve minutes, and then you get thrown in when the game is out of reach.
Right.
Almost every time.
Right.
And almost every time he does a little something to bring, you know what I mean?
Right.
To bring him back or show what he can do.
I mean, and then not only that, you bring him in when you need what he can do. So it's like, oh, you want to bring me in when you need me, but you don't want to play me, at other points in the game. That's
now it's even more pressure.
yeah, it's more pressure and it make you a little bit more mad too, because it's like, when you need something from me, it's cool, but when I want to get on the floor and play some minutes, there's a problem. You know what I mean? I can get that.
D'Antoni was from that school too.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice talking, man. Shout out to the chat again.
For sure,
Yo, Blackest
man.
Time.
All right, peace out, Thursday. Bro. See you Thursday. Peace out, man. There we go. Yeah, so KP, I think he'll make it back to All-Star form, folks. I think he'll do it. I think he's going to come back stronger, better. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to come back stronger and better. Let's talk about Dotson and Hardaway, or Hardaway and Dotson a little bit. You see Hardaway sprained his ankle, twisted his ankle a little bit tonight. And this could be another blessing in disguise for the Knicks. It very well could be. Because now you kind of gotta maybe play Dotson a little bit so that you don't put as much pressure on Hardaway's ankle, or maybe you give Hardaway a night off or a couple of nights off for that ankle to heal and let Dotson play a little bit. Because Dotson needs to play. You know what I'm saying? He needs to get on the floor and get to play, especially at this point when there's not as much pressure. When he got to play when he played a little bit earlier in the season, there was maybe a little bit more pressure for him to do well. Now there's no pressure at all. You know what I mean? So I got Alex Martinez on the line. Alex, can you hear me, bro?
I can. How you doing, Simeon?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, man?
I can't complain.
So, how you feeling about? Did you see the game tonight?
I got to watch third quarter and second half. I got to watch.
So, how you feel about that third quarter?
I was disappointed, man, especially, listening to the halftime show and talking about how they shot 66% in the first half to come out and play the way they did in the second half. I mean, they represented the Knicks in the perfect way, but it was just disappointing to see.
Yeah. What do you think about KP, man?
I'm very encouraged with KP, man. I liked what I saw, as I put in the chat earlier. He has that Kobe work ethic. He wants to be a great. He wants to be an all-time great. So I think he's going to come back strong, man. I think next year our expectations need to be low for him. Next year is going to be a getting in shape year, trying to get his legs back under him. And then that 2019-2020 season, that's when we shall see KP back at his all-star form, I believe.
Yeah. I hope so, and I think that's where Scott Perry, Steve Mills, that's where those guys are focusing. I think they're focused on that season. I think they want to, this season coming up. I mean, this off season, we're pulling a draft pick. We're not going to be able to do much of free agency, but then maybe in 2019, maybe we're able to pull in a free agent, right? And then 2020, after that 2020 off season, I think that's the year that we should expect. And I know it's a long way off. People are like, man, we're talking about 2020. But that's when we should expect really the Knicks have the chance to be a contender. Or not that season, but really begin to shake some things up and make some noise.
I totally agree. And because of that, I kind of believe that's what is going to determine Hornacek not getting fired. Right. I think they gave him the chance at the beginning of the year of telling everybody we don't have expectations other than to develop our young guys. I think he's failed in developing our young guys, but I think they kind of had an agreement with him that the expectation this year was low. Yeah. I think us fans we got excited, at the beginning of the season because we started off so hot after that first 0-3 start. Right. But, we forgot that it was a rebuilding year. So I think they're going to give him that chance to do something with the team. I think I don't think we're going to stand pat at the free agency. I think we're going to trade some players and try to create some cap room. But I think it's going to be all one-year contracts to preserve that 19 free agency.
Yeah. And that'd be the smart thing to do. I think that's the smart thing to do. Preserve, 1-year contracts. Don't give anyone. And that's the reason why I think Kyle O'Quinn will be gone.
Yeah, I think Kyle O'Quinn will be gone. I really think Courtney Lee is going to ask for a trade to a contender. I just think he wants to spend the last bit of his years out here in New York, especially seeing that he's had a career year up to now. I think he wants to go to a contender. Yeah. And Joakim Noah, I don't know what Joakim Noah is going to do. I think they are kind of forcing him out in the way to like, hey, we're not gonna help you out here. It's either you buy out at our price or you just stay home, So I think he's going to just lick his wounds and give some money up just so they can go play another game.
Yeah. And that would be a smart thing for him to do. I guess the thing is he knows he's not going to get another contract this big. And if he were to allow the Knicks to buy him out this year, say before the deadline or before March 1st or whenever it was, he probably wasn't going to make this enough money with another team to make up for the amount of money that they bought him out, or maybe he's even afraid he wouldn't have been picked up someplace. I think he would get picked up somewhere. So I think he wants his money, but I also know he wants to play. So he may be. One second. I think maybe he is hoping that the Knicks get a new coach, and then that coach likes Joakim Noah. And maybe that's something that he's looking to say, hey, if we get a new coach, that coach may like what I bring to the table. We'll see though. We'll see what happens.
Last I called in Simeon. You asked me about the coaching stuff, and I told you that I want Mark Jackson, but I didn't think he was a player's coach. Right. I got some heat for that, but the reason why I thought that is the same reason that the last caller stated. These players nowadays are different than they were 3-4 years ago. It is a millennial league. People get easily offended. What happened this summer with Jeff Hornacek and Kristaps Porzingis? He called him a female kitty, and Kristaps was all bent out of shape over it. Right. Do you imagine a guy like Mark Jackson coming in and yelling at a Kristaps or one of these young guys? They're not going to take it the way they used to take it. Back in the day, under Mark Jackson's days, those were tough players, as you said. It's a different generation. Yeah.
And that could be true. I think it would depend on if Mark Jackson can develop that kind of relationship. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that could be true. That definitely could be true. It's different players nowadays. And,
it is. And look, I read some articles this week on Mark Jackson when he was coaching the Warriors. One of the things that the Warriors players loved so much about Mark Jackson was that he would, chew them out and tell them what it is. Right. And who knows? Maybe I know, from coaching, certain, I've been in a situation where, I was the coach and somebody else was a coach or an assistant coach or whatever it was. And I could develop a relationship with the players, right? I work with teenagers. I've been working with teenagers for a long time. So, I do a good job being able to develop a relationship with them. And then and not just coaching, in other areas of I work in youth development I do contract work now, but when I worked in youth development, there would be different staff there that would have different relationships with the kids. And if you had a good relationship with them, you could chew them out, you could get on them, and they still had the same respect for you. Somebody else
might try to do the same thing that you do, but they don't have the same respect for that person, so they get upset when that person chews them out. Or a lot depends on the relationship that you develop with the players. And I think Jeff Hornacek and like the other guy, Ronald said, guys like, or maybe it was Tony said, guys like D'Antoni kind of come from that old school era where they don't feel like they have to explain anything to you. And then when you don't explain something it cuts off that relationship. You know what I'm saying?
No, I completely understand.
Yeah. And so, you know, today's players are all about developing that relationship. These guys develop that relationship and then see how, see how it goes. But we definitely need somebody who understands these guys a little bit better.
Yeah, and like I said, to be honest, though, I don't think Hornacek's going anywhere until 2019, 2020 season. I think they're going to give him another year. I mean, we're not going to sign any big name free agencies. It's going to be another low season next year as far as a win percentage. I don't think the Knicks' expectations next year is anything other than acquire another high draft pick. Yeah, with Porzingis being out.
And that might be KP might, maybe it's going to come back next year around December or something like that. Yeah. But hey, Alex, man, I appreciate the call. I'm going to get on because I know I got a couple other people trying to call in. Definitely appreciate the call, and hopefully you can come back on Thursday.
Sounds good. Depends on my work schedule, man, but I definitely will try.
I appreciate it, bro.
All right, man. Take care.
Be safe out there, man.
All right, man.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah, it's definitely a different day, different players. You know what I'm saying? And you need to have some coaches who you need to have some coaches that are able to relate to the players but can also be stern with the players. You know what I'm saying? Now, I have a question up here that is a very good question that I want to answer. Very good question. Let me see who asked the question first before I get into it. I don't see it now, but whoever it was asked me, do I think Greg Popovich explains things to players? Actually, I do. I think that Greg Popovich is that kind of guy. And my thing is this. Explaining something to a player, it's part of that player's growth and development. There's a reason that you're not playing that person. You know what I'm saying? And if you want that player to grow, then you've got to explain to that person why they're not playing. Or else how do they know what to work on? How do they know what to do so that they can get on the floor if you don't explain it to them? You know what I'm saying? I do believe that Greg Popovich explains it to people. Why they're not playing. Now, I'm not saying every single night you go to every single player and say, you're not playing tonight because of this. You're not playing tonight because of that. Because you're going to have players that obviously don't play every night. And so you don't need to explain it to them every night. You'll explain it to them once and say, when you're able to do this, you can crack the lineup. Or you can't crack the lineup because we got Tony Parker or whatever it is. And here's some things that you need to work on. So in the event that Tony Parker goes down and you get a chance, you can perform. Yes, I do think that Greg Popovich explains those things to his players. You know what I'm saying? I do. And BN, explaining something to a player doesn't mean that you're buddy-buddy. You know what I'm saying? It's just like having employees. If you're a supervisor, you may not like all your employees, but you got to treat each one of them equally and fairly. And you're the supervisor, so whatever happens there, it reflects on you in the end. It reflects on you. So you've got to make sure that people are doing their job and they're doing it well. And you got to help those who aren't doing it as well develop into the type of employee that's going to do it well. Because in the end, it reflects on you. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to be somebody's friend. You don't have to be buddy-buddy. But you want to teach them and develop them so that they can perform at a level that, one, you want everyone to perform at, and two, you know, your job is on the line. So, you know what I mean? But so that's what I'm saying. I don't mean that. I'm not saying that he has to be buddy and he's going to explain every little thing. You know what I'm saying? But I think I'll say this. I don't think there's a player that does not like him. I think all the players like him, and I think all the players respect Greg Popovich. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't think that he has to try to be their friend. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he has to try to be their friend. I think that because he demands this certain kind of respect, you know, and just the personality that he has, he's able to develop relationships with players. And I think that, you know, the type of player, Greg Popovich is perfect for the type of players that we have today. You know, he's ahead of his time. You know what I'm saying? I think he's ahead of his time. Now, I mean, son, you said Aldridge don't. I disagree. You know, LaMarcus had a good year this year, and part of it is because him and Greg Pop sat down and had a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah, what's popping, bro?
What's going on?
Yeah, sorry I had you on hold for so long.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, now you good, brother. Shout out to the chat. Black is time. You already know.
Yeah, so we were talking about. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
You know, we were just, you know, having a conversation about coaches and how in today's NBA, young players need coaches that can relate to them. You know
yeah, most definitely. Like I agree 100% with what you said. Greg Popovich is ahead of his time and is, in my opinion, is the best coach, the greatest coach of all time in NBA. Just for example, the LaMarcus Aldridge situation, he said this was the first time in like 20 years that a player didn't want to play for him. And He sat down and talked to him, and they agreed. And Greg Popovich, and this shows you what kind of coach he is. He's a bigger fish. He let him have the role he had in Portland and take over. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Greg Popovich just doesn't do that. He doesn't. But he did it because he saw a player that didn't want to play for him, and he felt some type of way because he was like, this hasn't happened to me before. What do I have to do to change to make it better for everybody?
Right, and that's a good coach. You know, that's what good coaches do. You know, good coaches recognize, I think good coaches recognize if they make a mistake, they recognize their mistakes. Good coaches, you know, aren't afraid to take suggestions from other people.
Exactly.
You know, good coach. You know, that's what good coaches do. You know what I'm saying?
You have to adapt.
Exactly. You've got to adapt, and I think good coaches understand that they don't know it all, and that there's other people that have ideas and ideas that are good. You know what I mean? And that you know, good coaches understand that you're not a perfect person, and you're gonna make mistakes, and you're not gonna rub everybody the right way all the time. They understand how to communicate. They understand how to be firm. You know, they understand when it's time to joke, when it's time to be serious. And because of those things, and they give everybody respect. And because of those things, players respect them and like them, and they play for them.
Yeah, because, I mean, honestly, man, I'm going to just be flat out with it. We don't have a good coach, or we don't have a good coaching staff. I just, you know, it's like what we have like 13 games yet left, and I don't see no positive change with the coaching staff. Jeff rotations have. I mean, I'm tired of even talking about Jeff rotations because it's over and done with to keep talking about it. It's being a dead horse.
Right.
And then like it's like, and it's crazy. Even last year, people didn't like Kurt Ramses. Nobody likes Kurt Ramses.
Right.
You know,
nobody likes Kurt.
Kurt Ramses doesn't like Kurt Ramses. It's just what it is, you know.
Right. Although I was reading about Nigel Hayes, and he said that Kurt Rambis helped him out a lot, and that Kurt Rambis really kept everything cool, kept everything calm, kept everything easy. You know, but you know, everyone's gonna have somebody that helps them. I don't think Kurt Rambis is a good coach. You know, maybe he's a good developmental coach that can work with players. An associate coach, I don't think so. But
yeah, I'm not a big fan of, honestly. You know, I hopefully the Steve and Scott let him go, let the whole coaching staff go, and then wash our hands and start new. I hope that happens because I don't like any of the coaching on the team. You know, it's just it is what it is right now. Like I believe, I don't believe Jeff's the coach. I'd rather go with Mark Jackson or Fizdale. I like those type of coaches. Hey, honestly, man, I'll go back to Mike Woodson. I like Mike Woodson.
I like Mike Woodson.
I would go back to Mike Woodson. Mike Woodson, I mean, he had a few things, but that's every coach. Every coach has their issues, but we need a coach like that, in my opinion. We need a coach like that. We need a coach that's actually, like, you know, gonna, like, develop Frank. Because, I mean, 16 minutes for Frank,
right?
That's another dead horse I don't want to keep being. Because to me, it's too late to keep talking about all this stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. You know, we're talking about all this stuff, and
it's 15 games left.
It's been right, and it's been the same themes. It's been the same themes all year long, and the same thing keeps happening and going and going. I see CP the artist. You know, when he was on his show last show, and just now he mentioned that he'd like the Knicks to pull in a disciple of Greg Popovich. And I would love that because, you know, he's going to come with, you know, that's going to be that person's experience would be working under Greg Popovich and the Spurs and understand what a organized professional system is about, you know, and then bring that to the Knicks. Those are the type of teams, like CP the artist said, those are the type of teams that you want to try to pick your coaches, your assistants, your developmental players. You want to pick it from those type of teams. You know, you want to bring them in.
Hey man, don't fall asleep on what's her name? Becky. She coaches he's one of great. Don't sleep on, and like, you know, don't, for the immature guys, don't be immature right now. She's actually a really good coach.
She is.
And I wouldn't be mad if she became the Knicks head coach.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, 23 Blade just mentioned. He said, Sim, we could grab Becky from Pop, and yeah, she's a good coach.
She's a great coach.
Yeah, she's a good coach, man. And I definitely wouldn't. Hey, I play for a woman coach. Let me tell you this. There would be some guys in the locker room that try to, you know, act funny about it. I'm pretty sure. You know what I'm saying? And so you need to have mature players. But she's not gonna take no shit. I bet you that.
Now she played in New York.
You know what I'm saying? She's not gonna take nothing. And she'll be able, I think she'd be a good coach. She's not going to take no garbage. And she'll be tough. And, you know, that's not bad. You know, it's not a bad.
She's mentally strong, too. Like, don't forget. Because she's been going through this her whole time. She knows what it is. You know, she's mentally prepared for anything. Like I said, she played for the Liberty. So she knows how New York is. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, Hey, man, Isaiah, appreciate the call. I'm gonna move on. I know my man Karim, wants to get in. So Karim, try to get in on the line, bro.
Hey, who's Mark, man? You gotta get on, man. Hurry up.
I only seen him in here a couple of times. Who's Marcus? I don't know where he's at. All right, bro. Thank you for the call, man. All right, peace out, bro. Yeah, it'd definitely be nice to get a coach from that line of from that lineage. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of people that you want to get. We never finished up with this Hardaway and Dotson talk. You know what I mean? I definitely want to see Dotson get more burn. Hardaway, I seen someone earlier in the chat say that, they thought Hardaway would be the kind of guy that I like. I'm off and on with Hardaway. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he plays very well, and I like when he plays that well. And he plays the kind of game. But for the most part, I'll be honest with you, I really don't like Hardaway's game. But lately, he really has been playing very well. And I like the way he's been playing and playing under control and those things. So I'm not saying to play Dotson over Hardaway. What I'm saying is with Hardaway going down, maybe this is now an opportunity for Dotson to really get some burn and play because, he's getting spot minutes here and there. Now, I don't know what the extent of Hardaway's injury. I don't know if it's anything serious. It doesn't seem like it was anything really serious. Maybe he misses a game or two. But if so, I want to see Dotson get 30 to 35 minutes. No matter what he's doing, just give him 30, 35 minutes. Let him get a game. Let him get one when he really play some serious minutes. You know what I'm saying? So, Kareem, finally got you on the line, bro. What's popping, man?
Yo, Simeon. What's up, my brother?
What's up with you, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. I mean, I'm a Knicks fan, so,
Can only feel, there's only so much you can feel right now, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up to the chat? Peace to the chat, y'all. Word. I don't know why I can't see you though. Can you see me? You can't see me.
I can't see you. I can't see.
Or maybe because I called it's not that big of a deal. I got you on the chat, so that's all that really matters.
Yeah, that's it.
I got my Knicks hat on though, just for y'all out there.
No doubt.
But man, first of all, I just wanted to tell you, man, props to you, man. You know what I mean? You loyal. You got a lot of insight, you well spoken, and I'm not trying to say it like, oh, you're a black man and you're well spoken. I'm saying you know what I'm saying, like right, like you give us a fair assessment of our Knicks. You're not biased, you're not emotional, and I appreciate that, and I'm sure everybody else does. So I want to get that out the way.
Appreciate it, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So man, I hear a lot of people call up, man, and everybody has their opinion. Some people, in my opinion, I think a little delusional. Some people, they're probably new fans. I'm probably around your age, 41. I've been a Knicks fan since I was like 13 years old. My whole thing about the Knicks, I don't care about wins and losses. And I know you see me in the chat sometimes posting stuff, and you probably be like, man, this guy just wants us to tank. No, it's not about that. It's really not, man. It's really not, because I've been a Knicks fan for so long. I'm smart enough to know that it's all about an end game. The Knicks have never had an end game. We've never had any players that could potentially take down Patrick Ewing's stats as far as longevity.
Mm-hmm.
We're always trading our young guys. It's a list of guys. So now we have what I call the Black Wall Street in the front office, and it seemed like they have a clear understanding of what vision they want to have, and they're steadfast in accomplishing that. Even though they're making small steps here and there, because they're still dealing with the residue of what Phil Jackson started and his philosophy. So they're trying to drown that out without making it look like a circus. So they didn't want to just come in and just start firing people. So they're like, okay, we're gonna do it steady. So I do appreciate that. Hornacek, Hornacek is a terrible coach. And the reason why I say that is because he came in under the premise that he was going to be a yes man. Yeah. He was so desperate for an opportunity that he said to Phil Jackson, hey, fine, whatever you want to do. I don't know if he said that literally, but his actions, and that's the reason why even when Melo was there, the players couldn't get behind him because they saw how Phil Jackson was treating them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And with that statement, I have to say what I'm seeing. He looks like, I don't even know. It almost looked like he's trying to sabotage whatever it is the Knicks are trying to do because he know he's going to get fired. Like, I seen that you posted the same thing I was thinking when I was watching the game against, I think it was the Raptors. Troy Williams just finished having his best game. And then he didn't play like the whole first half of, of that game. And the same thing with Cormet. I work the hours that the Knicks are playing. So the only time I really get to watch them is on the weekends. Mm-hmm. So when I'm listening to you guys, I'm just, I'm like looking at highlights or whatever. So I'm watching the box scores, like the game cast while I'm at work. So I'm like, okay, Ntilikina had a good first half. He had 6 assists in the first half. I think like 4 points. So I'm like, all right, cool. Why you only play 6 minutes the second half?
Right. And
why is yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I can't even explain why he only played 6 minutes in the second half. He only had 2 fouls.
It's crazy. Right. And why did he go back to the veteran starting lineup? I'm literally at work fuming. Like, I'm fuming. It's for the fact that there is no clear understanding of what he's doing. You got dudes like Dennis Smith Jr. playing 30 whatever minutes, taking 17 shots. Like, yo, I'm just so frustrated. It looks like, and the reason why I say Hornacek is such a terrible coach because it looks like he's trying to win games.
Right.
And they're still losing terribly.
and that's the crazy thing is because we've had times over the last 10 games where he actually has tried to win and we still lost. And it's like, just give it up. Just play the young guys. Just play the young guys.
Oh my God. I'm going to cut you off. I'm just getting so angry right now. Just thinking about what you're saying and what I'm saying. Yo, listen, yo. It's not oh my God. I'm at a loss for words. I was going to say something. I'm sorry if I cut you off, and I know I'm kind of pressed.
No, it's cool. It's good.
All right, cool. I know I'm probably, I don't want to keep you, so I want to try to get my points out until the next time that we speak. But my thing is, Trey Burke played all of his minutes tonight in concession. Like, what the hell is he doing? Like. He gives these guys no opportunity to get any rhythm. You know what I'm saying? The rotations is no fluidity. Like, yo, I don't like on the real Hornacek is like he's smoking crack or something, yo. Like, he's a player. Like, yo, on some real, like, he is a player. He understands the intricacies of chemistry, of symmetry. So I don't understand what he's doing. Like, he plays guys 8 minutes, then they don't play the rest of the game. He plays guys 13 minutes. Like, how do you expect to get a fair assessment of what someone can do? Like, when you play a basketball game, you go out there, your adrenaline's going, boom, boom. You sit down, you calm down. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, now you get back out there, your adrenaline's going. Yo, he gets guys on the floor like they're just dead cold. And I respect Trey Burke so much. And this is what he's learned from his fall from grace when he was kind of given everything coming in. He's learned how to be a professional. And I respect him so much for that because this guy sometimes he don't play at all. And then he comes into the game and the coach expects him to produce after not playing for the first 25 minutes. And he comes out and does his fucking thing. And next game, he may not play again until the fourth quarter. And I'm like, yo, how are you developing young guys? And then you got guys like Frank Ntilikina. He gets to hear his name in the starting lineup. Oh yeah. 2 games. He's like gaining a little momentum. And then not only does he not start this game, he plays 16 minutes.
16 minutes.
And what is your philosophy? See, my thing is a coach, a sign of a good coach is not wins or losses. It's about you having a steadfast philosophy that you're going to live and die with. And this is how people recognize you. Whether you're a coach that has your own system or you're a coach that adapts to your talent, you have a philosophy that you're going to live and die with. And Hornacek, since he came to the Knicks, he showed that he is only a yes man. Oh, triangle? Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. Oh yeah, you want me to play the young guys? Okay, no. But he doesn't stand for anything. So if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for anything. So I feel like, yeah, and I feel like, you know, these black guys, they're black guys in the front office, straight up. You know what I'm saying? Black, not no, you know, Grant Hill, not saying nothing against Grant Hill, but you got some real black guys that live and breathe basketball. And I think this summer, this offseason, they're going to continue to clean house and continue to push their vision forward. And I'm just so sad that these young guys are not getting a fair shake, because Hornacek, I don't know what his thing is, man. He's schizophrenic or something, man. Like I don't understand how he has these guys playing and he's not giving them an opportunity to gain any chemistry with each other, because they never know if what they did last game is going to roll over into the next game. Right. You know what I mean? Like they're just out on the island. Like all of these guys are 10-year vets and they're supposed to just be ready. Like, no, you got to build these guys up. You got to build their experience. You got to build their confidence. Frank, listen, if you're going to start Frank Ntilikina, once you start him, he should never go back to the bench.
Right. I agree.
Like, that's just an ego. That's just an ego crusher. Like, the thing I respect about Fisher, when he was coaching, he gave KP a chance to start in the off season.
Yeah.
I mean, not in the off season, in the preseason.
In training camp.
Right, in training camp. And when he produced, he rewarded him with the starting position. A lot of coaches like Hornacek probably wouldn't have done that, and I respect Fisher for that. And that's to me a glaring weakness of Hornacek, that he doesn't stand for anything and is not fair to the young guys. If Hornacek was coaching KP his first season, he probably wouldn't have started him to start the season. You know what I mean?
And you might, and you know what? For all whatever people thought about Derek Fisher, he stood up for himself. That's why he's no longer the coach.
Oh, most definitely. And I think if he was coaching under the regime now with Perry and Mills, I think he would have lasted, because I think they would have saw that in him and they'd be like, hey, you know, I like this, because that's what the Knicks need. The Knicks need someone. I don't know if Mark Jackson is the guy. I don't know who is the guy. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we need this guy. I don't know. That's not my job. That's Perry and Mills' job to figure out, just like how the Celtics got their guy, even the Nets. I like their coach. You know what I mean? Like, they just need to get a guy that they believe that is enthusiastic about coaching these young guys and molding these young guys. Hornacek, half the time, he looked like he's fuming and he's frustrated. Like, yo, bruh, like, you're a coach in the NBA. You have these young guys. Everyone knows what it is right now, except for, it seems like him. He seems like he's the only one that doesn't get it. Like, I'm going to start these young guys, or I'm going to play these young guys more because they want me to, not because he wants to. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I feel you. Hey, Karim, man, great call.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it. Got to let a little bit off your chest, for sure.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Had to, man. Yo, thank you, man.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man. Hey, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and log off. A great call. Look forward to the next one, man.
Yo, man, same here, bro. It took me a while to figure out this Skype thing. I just downloaded. I downloaded it specifically so I can call up and chat with you guys. So now I got you. I'm gonna lock you in. Yo, peace of the chat, man. Yo, keep hope alive. I promise to God that Frank Ntilikina is the truth.
Thank you.
You feel me?
Thank you. Thank you.
And I got his jersey on right now. Holla at your boy.
Peace out, brother. Great call. Definitely a great call. You know, we got a lot of passionate Knicks fans, man, and great call. So let's we about to the end of the show. Fortunately and unfortunately, because I still got some things to do to get ready for tomorrow. But let's just take a quick look, you know, at this little Tankathon thing. We're still in the same spot. You know what I mean? We're not new right now, but we're still in the same spot. We're still in that 9th spot. Mikal Bridges right now is what it looks like. That a lot of mock drafts got us taking Mikal Bridges, which I'm gonna tell you what. I think you guys have really, really convinced me, and I don't want you to think that I'm being wishy-washy or nothing. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. You guys convinced me. I looked at a lot of video. I like Mikal Bridges. And one of the biggest reasons why I like him is because he's a junior. And he's about almost 22 years old. And when he comes into the league, he's going to be a little bit more ready. You know what I'm saying? And, looking at KP's timeline, they kind of fit that timeline together. We've been talking about having a three-man, a small forward. He's got good mechanics, a nice skill set. So, yeah, I like Mikal Bridges as well. You know what I'm saying? I like him. I like him a lot. But if we're looking at, these rankings right now, we get the 9th and 38th pick. Cleveland has the draft pick because of Brooklyn. But honestly, I don't think, guys, that we are going to move up anymore. I really don't. Now, losing to Dallas helps. But I think we're going to be about right here. We're going to stay in this 8th, 9th spot. Looking at the schedule strength. We got we're kind of in the middle of the pack with our schedule strength. And some of these guys, Chicago, Dallas, they got the worst, they got a schedule that they don't have they got a schedule where they can win. Our schedule is a little bit tougher than theirs. So maybe we could take some more losses because, their schedule is a little bit easier. So, you never know, but I don't think so. I think we're going to kind of be around where we are. And if we do want to move up, then it's going to be on Scott Perry and Steve Mills to make some moves. So, I probably won't look at this on Thursday because we're likely going to be in the same spot. Maybe we'll wait for a couple of games to see what happens and then take a look at it again, see if there's any movement. See if there's any movement. I doubt it. I've done this lottery, this simulated lottery, and, we basically, every time, we're in that 9th spot. Check it out. 9th spot. 9th spot. 9th spot. You see up here it's changing, but we're not changing. I'm hoping one of these times it'll show us in that first spot, but it's not happening. So there it is, guys. Look, it's late. It's 12 o'clock. And I'm about to head off. I'm about to head out. We had some great calls tonight. Some really good calls tonight. I've been really, really busy lately. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as I can, I want to set up a whole draft show. I got Ace, even if we lose every game, we probably will lose every game. I just don't know if we're gonna move up anymore, man. I mean, Memphis, they lost 18 in a row. I think we probably have we got the second longest losing streak right now in the NBA. Right? We got the second longest at You know, second longest losing streak at 8. Memphis lost 18 in a row, and we may not win again. We may lose the rest of the season. You know, if we do, will we move up into there? We'll see. I guess it's possible. I mean, we got 24 losses. Chicago's at 23. Sacramento 21. Brooklyn 21 losses. Orlando 20. You know, I guess it's possible. We'll see. We'll see how it happens. We'll see how it goes from here. Let's see. Let's see. I'm sure most of these people are going to be trying to lose the rest of the season too, though. But like I said, I'm about to head out. As soon as I get a little bit of time free, I got a couple of guys I'm connect with. We try to, really start, doing some draft shows. And I'm definitely going to be when during the draft. I'm gonna be on. I'm telling all my clients I'm not working that day. I think I'm going to not have basketball practice that night. And I'm gonna try to be on. My plan is to be on, for a few hours, maybe an hour and a half or hour before the draft, and then beyond for the whole draft. So that should be fun. You know what I'm saying? That should be pretty fun. But I'm out, and I'm gonna talk to you guys on Thursday. All right. Peace. Be easy. Tomorrow's hump day. Let's get over it. Let the end of the week be nice to you. Peace out, people. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe below, ring the bell so you can get a notification anytime that I go live. Check out these videos over here, and peace.